to Our Isekai.
Hi, evening. It is late.
It's very late to the Thursday evening.
On a work night.
On a work night? No way.
Who works on a work night anyway?
Could someone be going somewhere? Could that be the reason why we're recording early?
Well, we tried to record on Saturday.
we did.
So,
even on Monday and on Tuesday.
Actually, no, we didn't try yesterday.
We didn't even bother. Oh,
done.
Right. Yeah, we didn't even bother, so that's okay. Well, welcome back to Our Isekai, where we discuss things that matters to us, anything from anime, trending topics, reality TV shows, and films, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
All right, so today, I am Uchenna, your overpowered MC.
I'm just the main character. But this is developing. Did you use ChatGPT?
Of course I did. You gotta be on theme. So you're gonna see what we're seeing in the video version. I've literally turned myself into Starfire because we're doing a DC this or that, and I've turned her into Wonder Woman.
Fantastic.
And the AI has done that. Isn't that brilliant? So yeah, I'm loving the pose though.
Yeah.
It's the eyes for me.
Right? It's giving
from Titans. Starfire and Titans, yeah.
I was thinking more of the one we watched with the sickle cell patients. The eyes glow sometimes.
Oh, Supercell. No, but that's yellow. Yeah,
that's what it reminded me
with
of.
the glowing eyes.
The eyes sometimes glow when they use their powers.
Very, very, very. Yeah. Alrighty, so today we're mainly going to be focusing on dating shows, the pros, the cons. Why on earth are there so many?
Too many at this point.
I mean, and a few TikTok trends. The one that you saw, if we get to it.
Okay, the one, because I was about to
just
say
that one.
I did not do my homework.
Just the comment section on that particular one, because I was like, no. Because I thought that was quite funny.
It was a funny one, to be honest. But after that, you said, let's do more. I did not find...
No, I said either one or two.
Yeah. As I said, I was on my TikTok feed. That was the
only one you saw?
No, I saw
the last one.
Last one after you mentioned it. And I was like, oh, I haven't done my homework because I haven't gone back to look for anything.
You know what? At least it's somewhere in your...
it's in that conversation somewhere.
Damn straight.
I'll locate it.
And Red Light, Green Light is going to be on One Piece.
Yay.
Up to... Well, the characters in One Piece up to Thriller Bark.
Because I am currently in Thriller Bark.
Yay.
And Usopp. I have a love-hate relationship with Usopp, you know? Usopp.
Yes.
I had a love-hate relationship with Usopp.
He's a coward. Like but he's trying to be brave. He's trying to be a brave,
and the
courageous man
episode
of the
that
sea.
I'm currently in, right? He was about to get defeated by the Ghost Princess.
Right. Perina. Love her.
She's a fantastic character. She brings me joy when I see her.
Right.
Yeah. So he was like, that's not fair. You can't. How are you going through me? I can't fight you properly. I'm like, bitch, it's a fight. You don't have to be fair. Because beforehand, he was gloating about how well he was doing because now he found someone weaker than him.
Well, you'll see. Because I feel like they always, Usopp, was Nami, they win in a wacky way. In a way that you're not really expecting, but they always win. The way he wins is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I get that. When he wins big. But at the same time, I'm like, stop trying to act like you're Sanji. Stop trying to act like you're Zorro. You're not on that level yet.
No, he never does that though. He tries to be as strong and as courageous as them, obviously, but he doesn't try to be them.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
But the point was like, he was like, the point where I am currently, where I'm talking from. So he was like, I was so happy when I found someone that I can fight and you guys can't fight. That's a literal transcription.
Yeah, but don't you think it's nice to find, like, for example, Sanji has a huge weakness. Girls. He can't fight women.
Yeah.
But Usopp has no problems with that. I mean, remember the CP9 situation? That was embarrassing for Sanji. There you go.
I don't think Sanji was embarrassed by that.
No, he wasn't, but he's just by principle that he doesn't fight women. And it's a long story. You're not there yet. But anyway, and then we'll go to our This or That, where it's favorite DC characters, and then there's a new segment that I've just introduced. I'm keeping this one guessing. I'm calling it Ship It or Skip It. It's a short segment. It's kind of like the rapid fire This or That.
Okay.
But it's just basically random pairings if you'd ship them or skip them, right?
On theme for dating.
On theme for the dating, right? Yeah, exactly. All right, so Why are there so many TV shows? These are just prompts for us to like kind of go through. So main topics.
Today's dating shows. So there's too many of them. So I've just recently finished watching Temptation Island USA version, and before that I was watching a South African dating show as well. And then obviously before that there was Love Is Blind, and then during the summer last year there was
there's Love Island. There's Love Island Games.
And then the first series of Too Hot to Handle.
Yeah, there's also the whole universe that Netflix is kind of trying to create with Love Is Blind people, the Love Games, people from Love Is Blind, people from
The Ultimatum,
the Ultimatum, Too Hot to Handle, and a few of the other reality TV shows kind of all coming together, and it's a bit. I don't know. I didn't quite know. But when you think about where we're coming from, though, we're coming from shows like Blind Dates and like Take Me Out. And like, obviously, there's now a new version of Take Me Out, which is the Pop in the Balloon. Did you know that Netflix did a live version of it the other day?
I saw.
That's crazy.
Did you watch it?
No, of course not. No. I mean, maybe I will eventually get into it or look at it at some point. But it's just sometimes the way they speak, it's just very agitating.
In what way?
It's mainly the men. No, some of the women have come and they've done that, but obviously you gotta give men shit. So there was one I saw recently where the guy comes on and he's like, oh, he doesn't like, what was it? He specifically said something about the woman. Was it I think it was the way her makeup was done. Or like, I think it was her brows. He commented on her brows. He doesn't like the way, I don't know, but he doesn't like the way.
She did them.
This man was wearing like a 3-piece suit with a whole...
We watched the one I was showing you about the fitness edition.
Oh, right,
and then the guy came...
the balloon. The sugar daddies as well.
Yeah, oh, my goodness.
And the girl with the huge
chest. Oh, my goodness. But sometimes it highlights, like... I've noticed sometimes it highlights, like, key things in the different perspectives of men and women when it comes to dating, especially with the Pop the Balloon version that we watched together recently. Especially in regards to what men would view as fit and what women view as fit.
Right.
In regards to, like, these women were like, oh yeah, I go to the gym and XYZ. Some men were like, okay, but you don't particularly look like you go to the gym. And I was like, not everyone who goes to the gym looks like they go to the gym. Especially it depends on what type of like version of fitness you do. You may have more muscle than other people. Yeah.
It just feels like dating shows have kind of become some type of national sport and international sport, to be honest, because it's everywhere. Every country has their own. And it seems to be like they tend to also... in some way, kind of, because obviously you've got The Bachelor, you've got The Bachelorette. If we're gonna go to America, and to like a dating show that's lasted for God knows how long. If we're gonna go to like back in the days with America, there's the Flavor of Love or Love Flavor or something. And I don't think there were also obviously when you then come back to like the 2010s, 2012, we had Are You the One? Did you remember Are You the One?
I do.
That was revolutionary. And then I think there was a few like marriagey. Oh, what's that one called? 90 Day Fiance. And then obviously Love Island obviously started around that time as well and gained so much popularity. It's gone to America. It's gone to South. It's gone to Australia. Other like countries have their own version, and even bringing it right down to Big Brother, because it's seeming like these dating shows are kind of becoming some type of Big Brother-esque type of game TV. Shows. Yeah. Where these are obviously people's lives that we're kind of dealing with, and it's like it's become something to like talk about. But obviously, I know that relationship dynamics has kind of always been a hot topic, especially recently, with the rise of obviously more women being single. And did you see the news about men turning to religion? More men are turning to religion.
That always happens, though.
I said misogyny, but okay, it's all right.
They're not looking for misogyny. It's more of a case that
they're turning to a religion that says women have to do what the men say. To be honest,
sometimes I think people misrepresent.
Of course they do, but we're talking about But we're talking about American evangelism here. They're very
one-sided in it.
Yeah,
that's very fair. But yeah, people need to read the full script and what it actually does say. There is aspects of that, but there's also the parallel where it says love your wife as you love the church. So where's the love in that? I'm just saying.
Also, Paul, if we're going to go by the New Testament, Paul does not believe in, doing stuff, even with your wife. He's against it. So who are you going to follow? Are you going to follow... Like, the Bible doesn't have one tone or one message.
No.
It's different voices, different messages, different people. And it irks me when people try to make it into like a thing that says one thing, because it doesn't say one thing. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the Old Testament and the New Testament. And also, we need to know that these are different people from different times saying completely different things to completely different people that existed at an entirely different time where they didn't have laptops, they didn't have computers. Fair enough. I'm not saying that there's not something we could learn from that society, because we can always learn from every single society. But I'm very curious as to why we've decided to... And that's where I end on that one. Okay. Going right back to dating shows, and obviously how popular it's become, and it's become...
What's your favourite dating show you watched so far?
To be honest, I don't really have a favourite.
Okay, what have you watched
for the longest time, Love is Blind.
Okay.
And Love is Blind, the US, obviously season 1, I was captivated from the get-go. I definitely preferred the UK version last year. But obviously that's because they've only had one season so far. It has enough time for it to become rubbish. Maths is an interesting concept. However, especially the Australian one, there's some issues coming up about like how they may or may not be abusing them, or coercing them
into relationships.
No, into staying or recording for long hours, maybe not feeding them, stuff like that. So it will be interesting to see how far that would go. I took a peek at the American one, Maths. Okay. It just got... There's a therapist in there that I want to smack. I want to smack her.
What's she done?
Sometimes when she says things, I'm just like, are you actually a therapist? Like, are you... Because in my opinion, a therapist is meant to stay neutral. But sometimes it was mainly when she was talking to this black woman. It just robbed me off the wrong way. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, but it did. But if I was to pick one, I'd pick Love is Blind for actual dating. And I'll pick, for entertainment and shock value, Love Island.
For shock value?
And entertainment. Maybe not shock value, maybe just entertainment. Shock value, I'd say The Ultimatum.
I was about to say that Ultimatum was one of my favourites.
Yeah, but Temptation Island comes close. Because I'm like, why are you even there? Why are you testing your relationship? That's so fragile.
But you can say the same about the Ultimatum, because those are people already in pre-existing relationships.
That's what I said. It came close, but these ones, they want to get married in the Ultimatum. That's why that one is a bit further up for me. You know what I mean?
I think the Ultimatum is very realistic, because it does... in comparison to the Temptation Island, that you go on and you swap with other partners, which is a red flag. Why do you want to swap? Like, why would you go and test your relationship like that if you know it's not strong enough to withhold it? Yeah. But nonetheless, I feel like it's I feel if you get to the point where you have to ask for an ultimatum, that your relationship is about to break down, and as it stands. That's my opinion in a way. But sometimes ultimatums are needed in a relationship just to get things like everyone's on the right page. But in their instance, where it's like, I want to get married, but you're telling me you don't want to get married, I'm going to give you an ultimatum. Fair. At that point, you should be like, cool. Clearly our paths aren't aligned. Is there a way we meet in the middle where we can do a partnership? And she says, no, I don't like, or maybe like they do a celebration without the marriage certificate sort of thing, where they both wear rings to signify they're together. They can try and reach a compromise with that, but to go and say this or that and potentially break your relationship, I'm like, cool. No, majority of them don't last.
In all honesty, I think sometimes people overcomplicate what a marriage is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not all the time, just sometimes. And I also think that people who want to get into marriages, and I'm going to narrow this down because this is my opinion, women who want to get married, especially the religious ones, that are keeping themselves. I've barely had a relationship with any man. They don't know how to speak to them. They don't know them from Adam. You've only had one boyfriend your entire life or two. Myself included, by the way. You have this image in your head. You haven't even done the intimate as well, but not properly either. And then you just get into a marriage and all of a sudden there's this person there and you're losing your mind because your idea of what a marriage is
It
doesn't fit what you're currently in, and you're spazzing out. And you don't know how to act right. All of a sudden, there's fights. Including the men as well. Because it's like they don't know how to speak to women, or like to them, women aren't even people. Like, you don't see each other as people. Anyway.
Then would you say dating shows are a lesson for us to learn?
Yeah, I do think it is something to learn from, but I think the appeal, in my opinion, I think the appeal to us is the voyeurism aspect. It's the aspect that we can watch these people's lives on telly and giggle about it. I'm so sorry. It sounds very objectifying and very inhumane, but I feel like that is the appeal. The appeal is that we can watch these people do these things that we think are so intimate and laugh about it and have a chat and giggle about it on TikTok, on Instagram, and have our little takes on Threads or on whatever, on X. And then engagement from that, and people are just chatting. I think that's the appeal. I think the appeal is also the fact that with something like Love Island, we can also impact these people and do these things, right? There's also, with specifically Love Island, there's a stan culture as well.
Yeah.
To it. And I feel like that can also follow with, what's the name of that show? Love is Blind as well, where people just blindly follow a couple that they think are so lovely, but you really don't know what their actual relationship is like. It's the same thing with all these me and my boyfriend TikTok pages and stuff.
I actually don't believe couples should have couple accounts.
Yeah, and like you root for these couples, you're pretty much invested in their relationship at this point.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden these people are asking for privacy, and you're like, when you were oversharing.
Sometimes it's not even that. I feel
when
like
you went on a reality TV show to go find love, now you want to be secretive.
I think they can't handle the pressure of speculation that comes with being a couple's accounts.
Yeah. It is a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot, but as I said, I would prefer, in my opinion, if they had like separate accounts and every so often they go into each other's accounts.
Like there's a crossover here and there, that those people are together. Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like doing a strict couple's account sometimes does add pressure onto the relationship, especially if you're trying to go viral per se. You'll be doing things that you might go against your personality in some instances.
The ones that worry me are the prank ones.
No, I hear it. Sometimes they're mean. They're not need. Sometimes they
like
are
why?
mean.
Yeah, like why are we doing this? Like why are you? Oh my god! It is the one that like the guy's sleeping and like it's in the dark and you're wearing like a mask and you're scaring the. And then there's the one that has a thing that falls down every time they come through the door, and I'm just like,
it's not needed.
I think maybe this is because personally I like peace.
I don't think that's it. I just
don't be doing that because obviously if you're the type of couple that plays around, you guys prank each other, stuff like that, then obviously that's okay, and you're inviting people to kind of watch how fun you guys can be. Yeah, sure, but every day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think sometimes it adds pressure because that might not be the dynamics on a day-to-day basis. Maybe it's like once a week or once a month they're like that.
Or like one day they just like, okay, babe, today we're going to film pranking content. Yeah. And they do it like 50 times. They change 50 times and then they've got enough content for like a whole month or whatever.
Honestly.
Is it stress? If it feeds the family, more power to you, you know?
Well done to you. But for me and myself and we're not having it. I am a very much low maintenance kind of person, as in I come home and take a nap. Don't be pranking me as I'm taking my nap.
No, fair play. So now let's go to like the risque dating shows. Yeah, I'm talking the Naked Attraction. Oh! Yeah, Temptation Island. No, Naked Attraction. My mum, your dad, First Date Hotels.
Did you watch them I Avoid?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. That was a show.
Oh, like Dinner Date. Dinner Date was fantastic. Oh, like the one where you got to do the clothing ones.
Yes.
Now you go shopping. That was
you pick an outfit. You have to rate your outfit, and then Peak TV.
ITVB, man. That was the show. That was the channel.
I loved every moment of it.
Single man, reveal yourself.
I loved it, honestly.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, but the point I'm trying to make here, with risque dating shows, right, is the spectacle of it, right? There's the one where a kid will bring their dad, a young boy will bring his dad, a young lady will bring her mum, and then the parents would date. Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't, but I've heard about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, have you seen Love on the Spectrum as well?
Yeah, I've watched an episode, but I didn't fully finish it, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So, in fact, maybe I might add Love is Blind to this one as well, because they do include the family. So let's take out Naked Attraction first of all. Let's talk about the dating shows that includes your family members.
Okay.
And just first of all, what do you think about that? Just imagine if this was you, that you went on a show like Love is Blind, and you've done this. It's been however many months, and now people are on TikTok and on Instagram just tweeting or whatever about how you said something on the show that might not have been the way you intended it to come out.
Yeah.
And now you're being
Ridiculed.
slashed and ridiculed online for it. And your family members are seeing this.
I would have preempted my family.
Oh, right. For such a thing, right?
Yeah, I would have been like, I'm going on a dating show. So if you're on socials, you might
want to leave.
Yeah.
You might want to leave for a couple months.
I'm going to be going on the basis assumption that you'll tell your closest friends and families where you're going to be for God knows how long.
Yeah, some of them do, some of them don't.
Because you're going away for like 3 months. Obviously, if someone's going to... Like, my mum, if I was gone for 3 months, she would be calling. She'd call you.
She will.
Yeah.
My
mum would call
In fact, she'll be here.
So I would have to tell her, I'm going to XYZ. I'll be back in 3 months. And then she'd be like, cool. When you arrive, just send me a quick message. If you don't have your phone through the whole process, just do a quick check-in when you do arrive. So that's what would happen. But my mum's not on socials like that, so no. But I'd preemptively tell the people who are on socials.
Right. That this could put, yeah. Yeah, that's fair. And also you can't really help how you're edited.
Yeah.
In post-production. So yeah, no, that's I to be honest, I don't know what I'd do. Probably just not say anything. Just carry on. As long as I can make money, I think I'll be fine. If it's hurting my money somehow, I'll definitely crash out.
Cancel business deals.
Yeah, I don't know what I'll do, but I'll crash out. I wouldn't cancel no business deals. What the hell?
No, I mean, if your edit was that bad that you would lose like existing business deals, like say
I would technically be a nobody.
Okay. What if you weren't?
Which no dating show currently is like that. No, you could have celebrity dating shows. Ooh, that would be interesting.
Yeah. What then?
I'd like to host that.
Actually, because Dancing on Ice, I think there was a scandal.
Yeah, but that's not a dating show.
It's not a dating show, but my point is, what if you were someone who was rich and famous? Actually, wasn't there a footballer's daughter who went on Love is Blind?
No, that's Love Island.
Love Island. Okay. Right. So if she had brand deals prior to going on Love Island, she had actually got a bad edit that could affect her contracts, depending on what the contract said.
Yeah, but that specific girl, they weren't going to do that.
They weren't, but I'm saying, what then? Because that would be affecting your money.
Depends. Like I said, sometimes you could be the villain and still come out popular and ride that popularity to a brand deal, depending on how well your management is, or,
Fair enough.
You know, I mean, what's her name? Anna from Ovi's season.
Okay, yeah.
She wasn't exactly Miss Nicey. She was very straight talking. She was very to the point. She was quite polarizing. Not everyone liked her character, but she's come out and she's doing well.
That's fair.
The people that like you will like you, and the people that don't, you'll build a brand on the hate.
Look at you being very positive.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's opportunities. You have to be looking. You have to be open. But obviously, there's also the fact that these people are people. Yeah. That while as much as we can spectate and look at their lives, and their lives are pretty much entertainment for us for like one season or for however many months, they are human beings. And I feel like sometimes we tend to forget that. So I want to put that like at the top, so that we kind of remember that, please, with Big Brother coming back, with Love Island coming on. These are people, these are human beings. I'm not saying that they should not be held accountable, because when you act, but they are still people and they deserve to be treated like so. Speaking of people who deserve to be treated like people, and like their own person and shouldn't be scrutinized just because they're a little bit mean. Diversity. In shows, in dating shows.
Okay.
Do you think that the dating shows does diversity justice? Because there's two sides, right? There's the people who say there should be more diversity.
Okay.
And there's the people who say, diverse people, I beg you don't go on these shows.
I think it's a combination of both, because these shows can be overstimulating to people, especially if you're going to be on camera. I'm not sure about how long the recording periods are, but from what I've heard, it's very tasking to have the camera crew follow you all around, and how daunting that can be. I mean, some of them have said they get so used to it they forget the camera's following them, but that's not the case for everybody. Sometimes they'll be like, the camera's watching me, and they can't
be themselves.
Be themselves, yeah. And I feel like sometimes that hinders everyone.
But I think more the concern here is more the backlash that
they could get.
They tend to get majority of the time, or the secondhand embarrassment that they tend to get, that the viewers tend to get. When I say like, because specifically Love Island, of the black girl just standing there, being all alone and not being picked.
But that's a reflection of our society right now, though.
Is it? Is it?
In some circumstances, I feel that is. Okay,
maybe not in our experience.
Maybe not in our experience, but black people don't make up that large percentage of the UK population as it stands.
I agree.
Most people tend to date within what they know. So
true.
Some black men will date white women. Some white men will date white women. That's the reflection of where we are. It's not to say that people don't choose other people outside of those two fragments, or outside of the fragments in general. But I feel sometimes it's a reflection of how society is.
I do, however, think that in the last, I want to say 5 years, an argument could be made for about 7, but 5, there has been an increase in the desirability of black women. But my concern is the over-sexualization, but that's always been there. But still, there has been a rise in the desirability of black women. And that's a pro, I think.
It is a pro.
And it comes with what we're seeing on telly, and what everyone is seeing on telly, that black women are just...
That's beautiful.
It's just people.
Yeah.
They're just... Oh my God. Wow. We're just people. And also, to be honest, there's always been black women in British TV that have been desirable. That lady that said was with Simon Cowell for Sunita. I don't think she's really had any scandal. Gorgeous woman. She's been in telly for the longest time. The lady that's just gone on Big Brother. She used to do the kids' telly. And that's a black woman, So I don't think necessarily that black women in the UK have a bad reputation, but I think my experience might be very skewed, because another woman could say that the image of a black woman in the UK is aggressive. I said another, but not in my experience.
I have not thought.
But this could be someone who's lived in a more urban environment.
Fair enough.
With more quote unquote attitude from young black girls, but they're teenagers. Which teenager do you know that doesn't have attitude? And I also feel like there's a little bit of bias there, because it's more noticeable. For you as someone of another race, I'm not going to lie, it's harder for me to take disrespect from someone that's not the same race as me.
That's fair.
And I think personally I give black women a lot more grace, because I can relate, but I also try to catch myself in my bias with people of other races, where I'm also like, okay, give them grace, but don't be letting people step all over you. Right?
Yeah.
And when I say people, I mean people. It doesn't matter. If you're going to get banged out, you're going to get banged out. I don't do that. It's very rarely. That's not happened in the last 20 years. I can tell you that for a fact.
No, you just come home and crash when you have a bad day.
Yeah. Now I just crash. I look at you, I would use my words, and I walk away. But anyway, my point is, the image of black women, I think, has been on the rise, and it's been positive. Obviously, recently we had the whole thing with Whitney. And that was so disheartening to see.
The bullying allegations.
It was the racist comments that I didn't understand. Fair enough, she wasn't necessarily the nicest, but Jesus Christ, how many other races of women have we, or other women that have been quote unquote villains on TV shows, that there's no need to go with the whole race insults. You can say you're mean, why were you so mean? I've always said this. I don't understand someone being mean to someone else on telly, right? And then me going on my WhatsApp, or not my WhatsApp, on my Instagram and sending a direct message to the person that's a bully and being like, I'm gonna find you. What's it got to do with me? What has it actually got to do with me?
I don't know.
So I don't understand that, because you're fighting someone else's battle. And who told you that Dylan had an issue with it? Like, who told anybody that Dylan had an issue with it? That's what I don't understand. And it's likely, and also there was the thing that happened during the reunion where they all came back together, and she did something with the footballer. His name just escapes me just right now. I know his name. I know who he is. And she kind of said something a little bit out of pocket. But it didn't seem like the man himself took that much of an offense to it. But other people were just so riding. And I'm just like, why are you carrying someone else's headaches? Like, come on. So anyway, my point is, when there's people on telly, let's remember that it is telly, and a lot of them put it on. And it's the same thing with when you see something that triggers you on TikTok. Just remember, it's not for you, and keep it moving. You block and keep it moving. Is it me, or on my For You page, there's been a rise of religious stuff, and I've been blocking them one by one. This modesty dressing people, as soon as it comes on, I go into their page, block, keep it moving. I don't know why. TikTok, sort yourself out.
It's just your TikTok.
It is.
I don't know.
They're trying to get me, mate. They're trying to get me.
All jokes.
But do you think that Love Island should be more diverse? I do think they need to be more diverse in the sense of not just black people. I want it all. There's not just black people. I mean, to be honest, there's been more diversity in Love Island. There's been more South Asians, obviously more people with African backgrounds. There's only ever been, I think, one East Asian, I want to say. Do you remember who that is? Has there even been one? I think there's been a woman, there's been a girl. But I don't think there's been a guy. I want one, please. Oh my God, that sounds so like I'm objectifying. However, with the rise of Korean drama and stuff, come on. Surely there's a Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, any one of those countries that's good looking and tall and whatever, and also wants fame. Surely there's a bucket load. Bring them on. The girls want to see, I'm sure. Not me though. I wouldn't. And obviously, I'm talking about this as well from a very heteronormative space, and I believe it's because of what we consume. Because I've only ever seen one very diverse in terms of like sexuality, and that is the most recent Are You the One that I saw.
Okay. Did you not watch?
There were queer couples in there.
The Ultimatum queer version.
Oh no, I didn't.
I watched that. I actually quite enjoyed it. I was hoping I was going to do
another season,
but they haven't. Oh. And I loved it, honestly.
Do you think we need more of that as well?
I do.
Yeah, because I think it would shed light on how, I can't believe I'm going to say this, the other side lives. Like it would hopefully unstigmatize these people. It would. I'm gonna stop talking now.
I think I want more of it.
I want more of it because it would be, one, it would be entertaining. Two, we would learn a lot. Three, they're just fun.
Yeah, and it just shows you like.
And I feel like it would be messy.
Wow, you're the one who was speculators, and now you're like, me too, want to speculate.
I did say there's a level of voyeurism here, and
hands up.
No shame. Jesus Christ.
I think it would shed light on like different dynamics of relationship, because as you said, most of the ones we do watch are heteronormative, and that's not always the standby line of like how things do work in a relationship.
And I also think like there's a lack of knowledge of how the other sides lives, because something you don't know, you would somewhat villainize. You might villainize. So if it's made normal, and we see more of it, it would just be life, you know? And I feel like obviously the UK, we are very, I'm hoping that we don't regress like the way America has. We have communities of multiple diverse people and different cultures, and that's something I've always loved about the UK. And in fact, even, you know, there's this whole thing about white people not having a culture. I've never thought that. I've never thought that to be true. I saw a TikTok recently about a British woman who currently lives in Australia, I believe, or is in New Zealand. And it's international, it's cultural day at school, so they need to come in their own cultural clothing. And the woman was like, oh, she's stumped. She doesn't know what to do because last year they went in football costume. I'm like, what do you mean? These kids could dress as Peaky Blinders. They could go in as Oliver Twist. They could go in as people from the Tudor era.
That's okay.
They could go in tweed. That's a British thing. And I don't understand where this whole non-culture thing is, because they have dances, and I mean the entire language is technically theirs.
Yeah.
so I don't one, I don't know where it's coming from, and two, you guys need to talk yourself up as well, because you do have a culture, you do have an identity, and it can definitely survive with the multitude of cultures that we currently have. If anything, I've absorbed some of UK culture, I'd say, or English people's culture.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of English people that are exposed to African culture or the Asian culture, they've kind of taken a little bit of that in as well.
Yeah.
So I don't understand this whole polarizing nonsense. We need to shove it to the other side. Shove it. I'd also like to talk about adolescents. Just for no, I wouldn't. We're talking about dating. Because if I start, that was another episode. Anyway, so question. Why do you keep watching these shows? The more that, because there's obviously so many, and we even planning on watching more. Why do you keep watching?
Why do I keep watching?
Yeah.
I find it interesting. I find it hard to comprehend why people would go on a dating show. And the only way to find out why people are on a dating show is during, like, I think it's like the first few episodes. That's one of the questions, regardless of which dating show you go to, is like, why are you here? And sometimes it is that speculative in nature. Like, do I actually believe you're here for the reason that you're here for? And the only reason to find out that is to
watch.
Yeah. So,
but some people are so good at acting.
Yeah. So,
yeah. I keep watching because it's like I just can't avert my eyes. It's like when something not entertaining, but something that captivates your attention is happening, I can't look away. I'm captivated by it. I'm stumped by it as well. Because I understand the need to go, but at the same time, I'm just like, wow, like you're actually doing this. Like you're actually doing this. Like this is insane. I do, however, think that some of them are real, or they start with a real intentions. But producers and what the people want, you know, kind of sometimes gets in the way, because otherwise then we'll say it's boring and it's not entertaining anymore. But guys, these are people's lives. Technically, it shouldn't be entertaining. Technically, it shouldn't be entertaining, because when you think about season 1 of Love is Blind, the couple that lasted the longest, they were kind of boring.
I didn't watch season 1.
Boring. Love them. So sweet. Boring. So lovely. The love was so strong. It wasn't boring. It was endearing. And imagine having to watch that. Imagine if every single person had that type of connection. That's not realistic. That would be, there's no entertainment there. There's no reason why that will be on telly. That's just a proper experiment. And I'm very curious as to how this, speaking of specifically Love is Blind, how is the experiment being taken out? What are the parameters? What are the questions being asked? Who are the people doing this so-called experiment? Like, what actually is the experiment? Because no one, maybe I've just not looked, but they've not put it on telly. I want to see the report, Netflix. I would like to see the report. Maybe someone does a little report, TV report, essay, presentation thing after the reunion and tell us so-and-so couple succeeded after so many years. I mean, you've been doing this now for 5 years. Yeah? Surely you have a specific amount of success rate. You have a specific amount of failures, reasons why. Let's see. Because we're here with you with the experiment to see what it's really like in certain countries or certain states in America, specifically other countries as well. Let's see what you guys have compiled so far. How long is this experiment going on for? Do you guys, is the reason why it's still going on because you guys need more a larger pool, like a larger, not test subjects, but, you know, people, test pool. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Sample side, yes. Is that, like, do you need more? And do you need them to be more diverse? That's why we're going from state to state, because obviously I hear it, that makes sense. But where are we going? Because they're calling it an experiment, but where are we going with it? It's the same thing with maths as well. I want a report at the end. What's the experiment? What, like, you know what I mean? You can't do an experiment and just results. Where's the result?
Yeah. What's
the success rate? What's the goal here? Is it the people that got married and stayed married? Is that what we're judging this by? We want to know. I would actually like to know, because I know Love Island, that's bants. And they never came on telly and told us it was an experiment. That one is just bants. So I'm not really expecting much from that one. But yeah, Netflix, where are you going with it? Or the production company, where are you going with it? I'd like to know. I say this all in all to say, is there an aspect of escapism to watching other people's lives kind of play out on TV?
It always has been since reality TV started.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Fair play. It's the gossip, isn't it? The need to know about modern dating.
Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes you just need to know that you're doing good for your relationship.
Right, like yours is not as bad as the one on telly.
Yeah. It's okay.
But is yours as bad as the ones you see on TikTok?
Dinner, but, you know, he bought me dinner on the way home. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
But yeah, sometimes it makes you do appreciate who you're with, given what shows you do watch. Like, okay, it's not that bad. That's good.
True. It also maybe sometimes makes the audience kind of look at themselves as well.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like a lot of women, I don't know what it's like from a man's perspective, but a lot of women are kind of looking inwards as well when they watch these shows. Like, oh, do I have those bad traits? Because I see a lot of that on TikTok as well, like kind of holding themselves accountable and also learning. I've kind of noticed that because certain women were like, with the most recent Love is Blind, a lot of women didn't really see the issue with Tattoo. And I don't remember her name. The one with the scandal that had two guys, Madison. A lot of women didn't see what the issue was that Madison had done, and then it was kind of explained to them, and they were like, "Oh, is it?" Like there was a lot of learning and kind of holding each other accountable, and I love that for us. Learning our toxic behaviors and kind of being like, okay, I definitely need to change that, because also I was kind of one of those people who were like, she was just having fun. I don't see what's wrong with that. But you're on a show where you're meant to be vulnerable and you're meant to be open, and she wasn't exactly doing that, and she wasn't necessarily doing that in good faith. Sometimes, not all the time, which obviously there's an issue with, and all that malarkey. So yeah, I think it kind of held a mirror to myself as well, watching these TV shows, and it holds a mirror to society, I think, as well. Yeah. But I think it's also kind of showed how vastly different men and women view relationships.
That's what I said about how it does show quite a lot of differences in how even the expectations of what relationships should hold.
Vastly different. Is there ever going to be a middle? Obviously, people find a middle point. But do you think, with society at large, there would be a happy medium that everybody could be happy with, to say, okay, this is kind of what a generic relationship should look like?
No, I don't think so. Because everyone's personality is very different. We all view things very differently. Unless you're going to say everyone's very monolithic, where we all see things in one way, black or white. It's impossible because in most relationships there is a grey area, and that's defined.
True. I do, however, think that every healthy relationship does have similar traits.
Yes, we do have similar traits in regards to transparency,
treating with each other, respect,
honesty, and integrity.
Yeah.
In that regards, but in regards to how the actual relationship is run,
like the actual dynamic of the relationship, that's going to be vastly different, of course. Yeah. There isn't one way to do a relationship anyway. Yeah. Like what you're okay with in your relationship and what someone else is okay with in their relationship is just entirely different. I'm understanding that just now. Not that I'm understanding that just now, but it's dawning on me just now that expectations, like that relationships, I don't know, that relationships can be diverse. Because I've kind of always said I don't want a generic relationship. Like, I've never seen myself in a, I don't know, whatever normative, heteronormative shit I see on TikTok, that ain't it.
That's fine.
And I'm just saying, like, so like in my head, what does that look like, I guess? Which is why I'm calling for more diversity on more diverse relationship nonsense on telly, because some of us, we can't learn from real life because we don't go outside. We learn from telly. TV is our life, so.
Fair enough.
Dead ass. Anyway, that's everything from me. Should I read this? My little conclusion.
You wish to read it?
Okay.
You are.
This is my little thesis, the conclusion that I came to when I was really having deep thoughts about this, guys. It's so real because I really, really went down a rabbit hole.
Did you really?
A bit. Right. So, in conclusion, right, in a world where love is streamed, judged, and monetized, dating shows have evolved from cheeky entertainment into full-blown cultural barometers. Whether it's the Brits getting mugged off in the villa, Americans crying in pods, the Koreans navigating love with tact and tension. Speaking of the Koreans.
Singles Inferno?
Yeah.
You didn't finish Singles Inferno, did you not?
I didn't, but I saw enough. And your Japanese one, the dating in France. What's that one called?
Love Abroad.
Yes, that was an interesting concept.
I Love Abroad. I need another season of that. No. The concepts that you.
The concept is fantastic.
Like you're going to a whole new country or city, and you're gonna have to. All you have is a map. And eventually you'll find someone who
is in the same.
Who's also on the show.
And you can recognize each other by the maps.
But if you don't have your map out, you don't know who you're looking out for. But eventually, I think it's on like day 3 or day 4, they host like a dinner. So even if you haven't met anyone, so
you will eventually meet someone.
You'll get in your pigeonhole letter like you've been invited to dinner on so date, and then they'll all meet together, and they'll. Or
you can also post a letter to someone random.
Yeah, but it's very much. I love the concept of it. I think it's very much natural to how like things would have been done like
back in the day, quote unquote.
Yeah, well, you had like you write each other like a little love note, like, do you want to go on a date? Yes, fantastic. Do you want to let's meet on so and so date? And you have to hope that they're going to be there on the so and so date. And if you tell them at the post office near the fish shop, well, it's like 3 fish shops, and I go to one on street A and you're on street C. What then? You're thinking I'm ignoring you? No, I turned up. You just went specific in your directions.
Yeah.
That I was in. So that also shows you like how important communication skills is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because on the final day, they get to choose one person to see, and they have to write the location. And one of them put was like at the pier, but they were in Nice, and Nice has so many piers. So she went to one pier, and he went to the other pier, and they only have like a certain time frame to meet.
Yeah, to meet each other. Yeah,
on the final day, and eventually she clocked after 2 hours that her man was somewhere else.
At the other pier.
Yeah, but then at the same time, if her man thinks that she's moved, they might miss each other depending on what route they go on.
Oh my!
So it's just lucky that he stayed still in hope that she would
come find him.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you need to know your person, and you need to know how to communicate, and you also need to know social skills, because you're on a whole new different country that you don't know the language of and you don't know the culture of. It's I think in regards to social experiments, that is my favorite one. Not for the entertainment value of it, but just to see how they themselves not carry themselves, but how they navigate
the world,
navigate the world, the personal relationships and the romantic relationship. Because being by yourself in a whole different country you don't speak the language of, shock horror, couldn't catch me. I mean, I'll definitely go, but I'll carry someone with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But on this show, you don't get that.
Yeah, that's why I said as a social experiment, to be clear, Love Abroad, they haven't deemed it a social experiment. I'm just saying if it was to be a social experiment, that I could see being done with parameters like, hey, most of these people don't know the language they're in. They're in the new country. All they have is a pen, paper, and a map.
The one that I remember the most was the one that said, "Oh yeah, he believes in love at first sight," and he got pied devastatingly. The American, the dancer.
In where?
In the Love Abroad.
Love Abroad?
Yeah. Remember the one that got the dancer guy, the American guy? Yeah. I thought that was funny.
He picked wrong.
Well. Should have gone on Love Is Mine.
But yeah, Love Is Blind is a great concept. Singles Infernals, you have to be very much ingrained in Korean culture to get the gist.
Get it, yeah.
If you're not into Korean culture, you won't get the concept of Singles Infernals.
But it's interesting though. I do think it's interesting. I've just it's just I don't find it boring. I
think when we spoke about it, you didn't. You found the concept of having live commentators very fascinating because in Western media, the commentators would be social media.
Oh no, you misunderstand. That was throwing me off because that was kind of the first time they were doing it like that.
Oh, okay.
So usually what they'd do is something that they'll kind of let it go on and then the commentators will come in. But I think the most recent one that we watched, they were coming in at like really random points.
But that's the thing, like even in Singles Abroad, Love Abroad, they do the same. So
that was the one we were watching.
Yeah, but even in Singles Infernals, they do the same.
They do that, but it's not as often. It's not as interruptive as it
breaks it down more.
Yeah, because the one in Abroad one, they came in a lot more than they come in Singles Inferno. So Singles Inferno is fine. They kind of comment, usually they'll comment when something huge has happened. And obviously something huge happens a lot in the Abroad one. Yeah. So they've got to comment. But it just kind of threw me a little bit, that's all.
Especially because it's a new concept as well, so they had to explain the parameters of the rules.
True. Yeah. True.
Because first when you see the post box side, like, why is there so many post box? Why are they numbered? Sort of thing.
You just assume that they've been allocated to people.
Yeah, you know they've been allocated photos, but did you know that their phones are also kept in there? So they can't even access their phones, but they know where their phones are. You know how that would annoy me? To know my phone is in this pigeonhole with security, and I can't even access it myself?
I'll hack security, turn off the cameras, and I'll get my phone.
Yeah,
rig it.
Because it wasn't even until like the last final day, they were like, when you go to your post box tomorrow, you'll be given 2 keys instead of just the 1 key. And you have the option either to open the one on the left, which has your phone and all your electronic devices and your keys and stuff like that, or you can choose the left one and get your letters to see who wants to see you, or if you want to go and see the person you've chosen. So
if nobody picks you at all, you just go home.
Well, you don't know. You only have one option.
Yeah, so say I pick to open my box.
Yeah.
And no one's wrote me a letter.
But you have the choice to go and see to your safe spots in hopes the person you
that's someone.
You might have written a letter to someone. So you have then the option to hope the person you.
What if I didn't and I was hoping that someone writes to me? Because I'm just a girl.
Then you just get your phone and your devices and your keys.
That's
and you
it.
Just go.
Oh wow.
Because you haven't written to anyone and no one's written you a letter.
Oh, what a sad girl.
Yes, indeed. That is a sad girl.
Oh wow. But yeah, I did find that interesting. But it's just it wasn't quite for me.
I enjoyed it very well.
They were too cute.
They were.
And cuteness is just sometimes a bit too much for me.
The couples are still together, from what I can see.
Really?
Yeah, one of them I follow.
That's adorable.
So adorable, you know. It's like a cuteness overload.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Anyway, I believe that's all we've got to say about dating.
It is.
Do you have any dating advice for people out there?
No. Would you go on a dating show?
Of course I would.
Which one preference?
I don't have a preference.
Money's money, huh?
No, I would never.
Oh, I was joking.
I would never do such a thing.
No.
Absolutely not. I would have completely altruistic intentions. Yes. If you ever went on one, which one would you go on?
If I had to go on, which one would I go on? Temptation Island. because it would just be a holiday.
With a partner?
Oh, no, actually,
Or
no.
as a single?
Actually, no, not Temptation
Okay.
Forget that one. None of the above.
I'd probably go on Love is Blind. That's the safest option.
I said, yeah, it is the safest option.
Like, safe in the sense of just don't be a dick, you know? But, like, I feel like with Love Island, there's also the idea, like, people are voting you out if they find you boring or whatever. Mm-hmm. I find that daunting because people are actually judging me, literally. That's daunting. People that go on there, I feel like they've got the confidence of...
You best have confidence.
Oof, ciao. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. Are there any dating shows you guys would go on? Which ones do you think? Oh, maybe Are You the One?
Are You the One?
I think that's still going on, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. There's too many of them.
There's so many.
Too many. Cut it down.
Cut it down.
Yeah, there's only so much TV time I can allocate to dating shows, okay?
Would you go on Maths?
Married at First Sight?
Yeah.
No. It's an absolute no, because what if I get picked with a psycho? What then? Can I not? Because if you're telling me I'm potentially being coerced to stay on this damn show, I'm stuck with a psycho.
Fair play. Fair play. All right, so the question that we leave you guys with, to kind of round this whole thing up, is, do you guys think dating shows are helping us understand love better? Or are they just repackaging it in a way that we can binge and kind of just turning it into a trend? Like a bingeable, monetized media thing that we kind of like the Real Housewives type stuff, but just reality dating shows. Yeah, that will be interesting. So anyway, yeah, on to the next. Red light, green light, One Piece. Right, so we have the main crew.
Okay, so we're judging them based up to Thriller. Nothing past
Up to Thriller.
Nothing past Thriller.
Nothing past. Monkey D. Luffy.
I love him. Courage, passion, friendship. Why would we pick that picture for Sanji, my boy? No. Please.
I think that is a dope picture. That's him looking serious. What do you want him looking with, like, love heart in his eyes?
I like him being goofy. He makes me smile.
Fair play.
But Luffy so far is a green light. Sometimes Amber for his very brash decision making. Sometimes he doesn't think. Sometimes he doesn't think things through. But he's always there for his teammates. He's always there for his friends, and he's always thinking about their best interests. Especially like for where I am when he stood up for Nami, when he went to the village. Nami's hometown, and then when we see Robin's backstory and his friendship with Zorro and how these two have like a bromance going on. Luffy, he does it for his friends, and for that, his green light.
Yeah, he learns. This is kind of, after this he grows big time, but yeah, sprinkle of amber in there, but green all in all. Zorro, that's a green.
What, amber for his decision making?
Yeah.
Okay. Zorro, love of my life, green, because like I said, love of my life.
He's just, I mean, his hair is green, his powers are green. I mean, his Ashura, like, look, what more? What more do you want? That man is a green flag.
Walking green flag.
A walking red flag, but a green flag nonetheless. He's very loyal.
He's too green to be red in China.
This Zorro.
Yes, up to where I am right now.
No, Zuri is a green flag, but like I feel like he's more of a traditional man.
That is very true. I get the sense of that.
So,
but he has a lot of integrity.
He does have a lot of integrity. Yeah, he's a green flag. Nami, my cat burglar.
I love Nami because she embodies the level of pride and confidence that I aspire to have.
She has a love of money that I understand.
Which is different things from that.
She is green.
Nami is but yeah, I just need her to have a bit of a backbone.
She's just a girl. She's a navigator. What do you want from her?
Robin is just
free, my girl. She controls the weather. She's just a girl.
She controls the weather.
She controls the weather. What's up?
See, I told you.
Amber. You see when he did that thing that he did in Water 7, I've not looked at him the same. But I understand where he's come from. But Amber still. That's your captain, bro.
Damn right.
Can't be doing that.
Audacity to be like, I'm captain, you stop, and I'm returning, and then they were like, can't hear anything. Do you hear anything? No. Until he was on his knees apologizing for his stupidity. Damn right, apologize on your knees, because what do you mean?
Whoa.
No, I think that level of disrespect. Only an apology on your knees, because what do you mean you're shouting at me? Stood up with all your pride, saying I only did it because I was the captain, deputy captain. Fuck off. Apologize to me properly. Yeah.
Fair play. Sanji.
As I said, put some respect on my little boy Sanji. He's just a perv.
Wow. Just a perv. That's diabolical.
He's a cook too.
Wow. He wants to see the all blue.
You know where I am right now? He's telling this other character,
Absalom.
Yeah, that he wants to see through. Like his hatred towards him.
He's so pure.
It's because he wants to see the fruit that he has.
He has the clear fruit. Yeah.
And Sanji was like, you ate the clear fruit. That was my passion and goal, to eat the clear fruit. And he was like, I was going to use it so much to help. And then his inner voice comes out. And his inner voice has me on the floor. His inner voice shouts, look at Nami while she's in the bathing. I was like, Sanji! And he's like, no, I want to save and help people. I was like, wow. Imagine having pure hatred towards a man because he ate the fruit that you wanted to use.
You gotta love a man that is consistent. And Sanji is nothing if not consistent.
He is.
He's got a one-track mind. Tony Chopper.
Chopper's green. He's so cute.
He's adorable.
Honestly.
When he loses control, it's just so sad, but he's a green.
The Chopper outfit was for the baby.
I know. Oh, adorable.
My heart melted.
If I ever had a baby,
right?
I'm getting them a hat.
That whole outfit. They're going to be waddling around in that massive little Chopper.
Yeah, like with a little reindeer thing.
Yeah.
Cute.
Damn right.
Nico Robin.
Oh, my girl Robin. Green. You've had a hard life, but you don't deserve to be red on amber because you've had your share of difficulties.
Amber still.
Why?
That much red? I don't know.
All she's done is
try to survive, to be honest. But
yeah. Would you not try to survive in her shoes?
Amber still. She would have let Crocodile just do what Crocodile wanted to do. She would have done nothing and so many people would have died.
She would have lied to Crocodile when it came down to it.
Well, if not for the introduction of these lot.
Okay. Maybe.
She would have always found a way to survive. If other people had to die, that didn't matter to her, as long as she survived. Obviously, she learned from that, right? She's not the same person anymore. But just because of that, only, she's like a greenish amber.
Fair enough.
Brooke is an amber.
I'm halfway through Fuller Brooks. I only know Brooke as far as I know. I love his
all you know about him is his panties, so that makes him an amber.
That is not true. I know about his shadow. I love his shadow. His shadow samurai. Kind of a bitch, but I love him nonetheless because he's got so much pride.
He becomes a rock star.
Brooke's shadow?
No, Brooke.
Ah.
Brooke becomes a rock star.
Fantastic. Well done to him.
And Frankie,
like Sanji, is just a perv.
No, he's a different type of perv.
Yeah, it's a different. He likes to show everything. He does. Frankie likes to show.
He just doesn't wear trousers.
Both men are so proud of it as well, you know? In different aspects. Oh my goodness.
If anything, Brooke and Sanji are pervs.
That's true.
Frankie's just a weirdo.
No, he's not a weirdo.
Yes, he is. He doesn't wear trousers.
He just likes to show it all. He just likes to
freaky Frankie.
Damn right.
I'll give him a green.
He is a green.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to the East Blue Saga.
Okay.
Right. So Shanks, what you know of him so far? What do you think?
Green. He's helped out Luffy quite a lot.
What I know of him so far? Amber, how are you going to see a child at a bar and just have him eat something that he's not supposed to be honest?
He didn't know. He didn't give him the fruit.
He didn't give him the fruit. Here you go. But he put it there, and you know this kid is naughty. And like, how did you lose your goddamn arm as well? Freaking greenish amber. Makino, that's the owner of the bar that Luffy always hung out at.
I can't remember her, so it is what it is.
She's a green. Buggy.
Red. Don't like you.
You don't like Buggy?
Don't like you? No.
I love Buggy. I love him. I hate him so much, but I love him so much. He's ridiculous. He's jealous, especially of Shanks. He is filled with this whole "it should have been me"-esque jealousy thing between him and Shanks. You don't know the story yet, I don't think.
I know the story.
You
I
do?
think it's when they ate the fruit and they went separate ways. Is that Buggie's story?
Yeah.
On the same cruise ship together.
Yeah.
I know the
Right.
story,
And that's why he doesn't really like him that much.
Yeah.
And he feels like he should have gone with their captain. But anyway, he feels like he should be at the same level as Shanks. But eventually he gets there. But yeah, Buggy's a red. Moji and Cabbagey, those are Buggy's goons.
Very unmemorable.
Amber, red, because they follow Buggy. So obviously Kaya, Usopp's girlfriend.
She's an
Amber, so annoying.
So spineless.
Captain Kuro, red. That's the villain in that arc.
Which arc?
In the Kaya arc.
Oh,
The one with the...
Yeah, the one who's kept her captive.
Yeah. Red. Django, he was in Captain Kuro's thing, and he did the hypnotizing, and then he would end up hypnotizing himself. Red, yeah.
How do you get into nice
I think he even became a Marine as well, I think.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, or maybe he was a Marine. I don't remember which way that goes anyway. The also pirates, Amber, the kids, and they were following some grown-ass older teen that had no idea what he wanted to do with his lives.
So would you not put Usopp as an Amber then for leading children?
Did I give Usopp a green?
I can't remember. I gave Usopp an Amber because he was spineless.
Yeah. I said because of the thing he did with in Water 7, no way he was going to get a green.
Well, then I'm going to demote him because why are you leading a group of children?
Village champion. Zeph, that's the chef.
I like him. He sacrificed himself for Sanji.
Yeah, he's a green.
Yeah.
Don Krieg, red. He was the one who they saved, and then he came back and tried to fight them, remember, at Baratier. Remember this guy, Jin? He came in and he was dying.
Yeah.
Right, and he gave him food, and then he went to go get his captain.
Oh,
which was
him.
Don
The one
Krieg.
who were at Sanji's place.
Yeah. Red flag, obviously. Jin, Amber. This is Captain Morgan. He was earlier on. I was meant to put him earlier. You know, the guy, Axe Hand, the one who was going to kill Zorro. Yeah, red flag, obviously. Full body, red flag. He was the Marine person who came to Baratier and was trying to do like he knew the food menu. He was with a girl, remember? And it's yeah, exactly. And Helmeppo, that's Morgan's son. Him and Kobe ended up joining the Marines, remember? Yeah. He gets a red. We get to them, Amber.
What's his name?
Kobe.
Luffy's grandfather.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where they're currently training.
Yeah, Kobe's a green. Helmeppo's an amber still, because it's still kind of cowardly. Alvida.
Is there something to say with our our rating system? We put 3 people in amber because they're cowards.
I didn't put Usopp because amber because he was a coward. I mean, that adds to it as well, but mainly because of what he did in Water 7. Because the thing is, with that, he's trying to be better, right? So I'm not going to give him, so is Helmeppo as well. But also, Helmeppo was an asshole. He was a spoiled kid, and now he's, on his road to recovery. But he's still kind of annoying. So he gets a number for me. Who else did I say was a coward?
I said, rewind what? So I said Usopp.
Right.
And then I also said Kaya.
Ah. Oh, you said she was spineless.
Yeah.
I said she was annoying.
Okay, so, okay.
You know what? Kobe at first I thought was annoying, but he grew on me.
He did. Actually, I didn't find him annoying. I found him very realistic as a character.
Yeah, but annoying.
Yeah, he does grow underneath at least his grandfather.
Alvida, red flag.
Can't remember her.
She was the big lady that Luffy defeats first, and then she comes back in Logtown with Buggy, and they try to get him now that she's in the fruit and she's not skinny. Yeah, she's not. I guess she's not that memorable. Go Mary, how would you rate? Green flag, obviously.
The
Poor
ferry
going
of
Mary.
the boat. Fuck off with the ferry of the boat. I hated that was a conclusion storyline of the Going Mary.
Yeah. But it's very heartfelt though.
Yeah, just get rid of the ship and get a new one, right?
Shit, man. That's cold. Thousand Sunny obviously gets a green from me. That ship is beautiful. Moving on to Arlong Park.
And his very long nose.
Red flag, of course.
Yeah.
What a villain. Nojiko.
Green. The greenest of greenest sisters.
She's adorable. Belmere.
Green as well. All she wants to do is raise children.
What a big heart, honestly. Hachi.
Oh, the fish man.
Yeah, he's an amber.
Okay, yeah.
Shu.
He was an octopus, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's an octopus.
With a basket on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very funny. You'll see him again.
Do I?
Yeah, you will. Chu. Red. Very annoying.
Too much pride.
Kurobi. I don't remember him much, but I think he was also a shark type. I think he fought Zorro. No, Sanji? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this guy, the guy with the spinny thing.
Green.
Genzo.
Yeah.
Okay, Lugtown. Smoker.
Green.
Monkey D. Dragon.
I've only seen his backstory, so now he's green.
Green.
Until I know more.
I agree. For now, he's green. Tashigi.
Until she knew who Zorro was. She was besties with him.
She was smitten.
Yeah, and then she's like, you're a criminal. I cannot fall in love with a criminal. Do they have haters to lovers trope?
You know what? I think a lot of people are pushing for it, but she's too young for him.
Well, how old is she?
I don't know. She's a child, isn't she? I don't know. A lot of people like the ship, though.
Okay. If they do end up having a enemies to lovers trope, I would love to see how that plays out so far, because all I know for now is she did have a crush. But that crush got broken as soon as she realised he was a criminal. And the only reason she didn't realise it because she wasn't wearing her glasses at the time.
Yeah, right. Jory and Broggy.
Can't remember them.
They're the giants. The fighting giants for 100 years.
That was such a silly vibe because I can't even remember what the fight
Why?
was.
Honestly. Alabaster. Cobra.
That was
he gets
father.
an Amber, the father, yeah.
He was very passive.
He did try, but Amber still. Crocodile. Red.
A crocodile had energy.
Have you heard? He did have energy. Yeah. He had energy. Also, the person playing him, Alcide. He will always be Alcide.
Yeah, that's a good point. When I come back, I'm gonna catch up on my One Piece. I got time to watch One Piece now.
You do. You do. And Mr. 3, red flag.
And his candles.
Yeah.
Wow. What a slow and painful way to die.
Honestly, he's not dead.
No. I mean his powers.
Oh, oh, God.
Painful. Goodness
Ouch.
me.
Mr. 1.
Red.
Yeah. Crazy powers though. I saw something online recently about how he turns every part of him to still, and that includes.
Yes.
I mean, a lick of sneeze.
No.
Oh my God. I'm just saying, things nightmares are made of. No. Anyway, Bonke. I want to give him a green, but he's going to be an amber.
He was funny though.
He was funny.
I like his powers.
He's an amber. Yeah, he's an amber because I liked his powers and I
Yeah.
liked him. Pell.
Oh, he sacrificed himself and he's green.
Chakra. I agree.
I can't remember what he did again.
He was the other one of Pell. One of the guardians. He was kind of annoying, but amber. Vivi and Karu.
Green. She tried her best for her country.
She really did. And so did Karu. They both get a green. Miss Doublefinger. The one that fought Nami, the spiky lady.
And she's an amber. I don't hate her.
No, the way Nami defeated her, I just thought was so funny. Baruch Work Agents, special shout out. All of them, red flag. Moving on to Sky Island. Now I'm going to be mainly quiet here because I only remember the main people. The rest I would just put on you if you still remember them.
Okay.
Mont Blanc Cricket.
Mont Blanc is a green. Oh, he went to a whole city in the sky.
That's Noland.
Oh.
This is Cricket. The one who
He helped them get to the
them.
island, yeah,
So yeah, he gets a green. Ganfor. I
He-
remember him as a
he's an
grumpy
amber.
man.
No, he's an amber
Right.
because his people were
Excuse me.
fighting the natives of a country that they found when they landed.
Mm-hmm.
He's an amber
Okay.
because why were you trying to invade the country?
And now?
Red.
Yeah, of course. I used that picture specifically because that was when he was getting knocked out. Wiper. I found him very annoying. I remember that.
But his intentions are very pure.
Yeah. But he was annoying, right? Or is it just me?
I think his treatment of his crew and teammates wasn't always the best. But I get it. They're at war. You don't have always the time and place to be polite and gentle because war itself is cruel in nature.
Sure. So what would you give him?
I think knowing his intentions,
green.
I'm going to put him as a green. But if I didn't know his intention, I was just watching it as how he was treating people and how he was conducting the war, it'll be an amber.
Okay. I do not remember Pagaya.
Pagaya is Connis's father. Yeah. He's a green because he tries to lead Connis on a correct path, because Connis does end up leading the Straw Hats to Nell, because anyone who's an outsider has to get sent into the forest to get tried.
Oh, right, yeah. She's the one who led them
to the forest because otherwise she was going to get punished by God.
Yeah. Okay. And Connis?
Amber for that reason.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Bellamy. But here we are. So quick, Connis.
Amber.
You gave the 4 Pris already, and red. And Blanc Nolan, he's green. Right. We've got Water 7, Iceberg.
Green.
Okay. I would have said more greenish amber because of how we treated Frankie, quote unquote.
He was only doing it to protect what he was told to protect.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Paulie's a green.
He has integrity.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Kokoro.
Green.
Tom.
It's when she first transforms into a mermaid, and Sanji is very upset because at first he sees what he thinks a mermaid should look like, and then his eyes open properly.
And you know what's so funny? Sanji finally gets to the world of the mermaids.
Is he happy? Overjoyed?
It's rather unfortunate. Is all I'm gonna say. I mean, he does get to see them, but
my poor baby. All he wanted to see was a mermaid.
Tom.
Green.
CP9. Red. Spandam. Red. If there's anything deeper than red, he'll be it.
He's so weak as well.
Honestly.
You have no reason to be that. With the way you are. As weak as you
Disgusting. Chimney and Gunbei.
Definitely.
Yeah. Green. Got amber still, but green. And Aokiji.
Amber.
I agree. For now. Now it's the main arc. Thriller bark. Gecko Morio. Red. He's so annoying. Absalom.
Yeah, he's an amber. Just like Sanji. He's just a fur. In fact, Nami is currently unconscious because of Absalom. And each time they see her face, they're like, is this an angel? No. It's just Nami. And then they're like, is it a berry? No. It's just Nami. And they were like, her skin's so fair. And Sanji was like, yeah, her skin was so fair. I had to actually rub my eyes to make sure I was looking at the right person. And what about her hair? So pretty and fair. I was like, and then Absalom was like, wait, we're enemies. Why am I being best friends with you? Because we both like the same girl.
Dr. Hogback.
Red.
I agree. Perona.
Amber.
I'm tempted to give her a green.
What? Because she's funny?
Yeah, and for later on as well, but yeah, greenish amber. Victoria.
Amber.
Oars.
Amber.
So annoying.
He's just a shadow.
Exactly.
Who has no memory of his past life. He tried to punch the air with Gumma Gumma, and then he was like, I swear my arm could stretch. I was like, you're not Luffy. What do you mean stretch?
Oh no, I didn't put his name, but I think that's Haguro or Haguma or something.
I'm thinking Brooks of Shadow.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, the zombie generals. Amber, because it's not, it's
just following orders.
Yeah, same thing with the animals as well. And special shout out to Lola. I don't think you've met her yet.
Lola, she's a hippo.
Yeah,
she loves Absalom. Yeah, it's one-sided.
And that is it for what's that segment called again?
Red light, green light.
Red light, green light. Onto this or that.
Yeah.
Should we think before he goes first, or?
Wait, we didn't even count, did we now?
It's on 3 always.
Well, I didn't count my head.
1, 2, 3. There we go. All right.
I didn't count my head. Did you count your head?
I just know.
Well, Fantastic.
It's just muscle memory. I don't know.
Aquaman. Oh, it's this week's theme is DC heroes to counter last week's theme of Marvel.
Yeah, so it's our favorite DC characters.
So, Aquaman versus Joker.
Joker.
Why not Aquaman? Sorry. The Joker.
Death. Simple as that.
Or Damien. As in Robin.
Damien's funny. Damn. His conception is so funny, but Joker.
Joker or Wonder Woman.
Joker.
Joker or Bane. I love Bane.
I do like Bane.
I love Bane.
Joker. I do like Bane though.
Joker or Starfire.
Starfire.
Starfire or Batman.
Oh, Batman.
Batman or Lex Luthor.
Batman. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm so sorry. Batman or Lex Luthor. Batman.
Batman or Catwoman.
Ooh. And that's Selena Kyle as well. Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne.
Batman or Harley Quinn.
Batman. I do like Harley Quinn though.
Yeah, she's a cool one. Ivy Queen or Poison Ivy? Not on your list, I'm just curious.
Poison Ivy.
Yeah. Batman or Superman? These were on your list this time. Now.
Okay, Superman.
Superman or Green Lantern?
Superman.
Superman versus Robin, as in Nightwing.
Superman.
Superman versus the Flash.
Superman.
Oh, Poison Ivy is on your thing. Superman versus Poison Ivy.
Superman. I mean, I like Poison Ivy. I really do.
And there we go. We have a winner.
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, I like Superman down. Clarky is a real day.
Yeah.
All right, your turn. Batman, Superman.
Batman.
Batman, Joker.
See, this is where it gets techie because there is a secret comic book where Batman does have a gun, and he's just he's not corrupt, but he's just wayward, just a bit.
Just a bit.
That's what I said.
When Batman goes bad, he goes real bad.
For the good of Gotham.
He wasn't doing it for the good of Gotham.
Nonetheless.
So who you picking?
Joker.
Okay. Oh, Batman. Damn. Joker, Wonder Woman.
Joker.
Joker, Green Arrow.
Joker.
You know, when I saw Green Arrow in yours, I said, really?
I actually no, so I'm basing this on the DC universe that was in Sky, Green Arrow. So I like that storyline. I did like it.
I prefer Diggs or Diggy. Yeah. I couldn't stand Oliver. My God. You said Green Arrow?
No, Joker.
No.
Yeah, I said Joker.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no. And then we got to Oh, okay. Joker, Starfire.
I like Starfire and the original thingy, Teen Titans.
Yeah.
And also Blackfire, her sister. Oh, she was a bitch. But I should try to marry her off. Did you see?
Yeah.
Oh, what treacherous behaviour from her sister as well.
Imagine.
Ops everywhere.
Quite literally,
But actually, I'm gonna stick with pick Starfire for this one because she is cool and I like her powers. Yeah.
I like her powers as well. Yeah. Starfire, Black Canary, same thing. Same Green Arrow universe, right?
No, I like Black Canary from the original Justice League.
Oh, okay, all right.
Did you watch the original Justice League?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Black Canary is a good
No,
character.
she was. Yeah, but in Thingy, no.
Okay. Starfire.
Okay, Starfire, Talia al Ghul.
I love Talia al Ghul. I love her storyline. she's a queen.
Yeah.
Talia
When I saw her, I was like, damn. I forgot that.
Talia al Ghul, she's the queen of queens, honestly, in the underworld. She is.
Talia, Catwoman.
See, Catwoman is just a burglar. Talia has goals and ambition.
Fair play. Talia, Bumblebee.
See, Bumblebee is a cool girl. But Talia.
Talia, Deathstroke.
Talia,
Aquaman.
She's just a bitch man. I joke, but I just ride for Talia that hard because honestly, Talia's had a hard life.
He's just a fish man. Okay.
After all, I'm hot.
Talia or Poison Ivy?
Talia.
Talia or Raven?
Raven's fantastic though.
She is.
But her father's evil.
Oh.
Her father's so evil.
I don't know.
Oh. But she's powerful.
Very.
And she can fight.
And she's mouthy too. She's got it all.
Except from a legion of people who will die for her. Talia.
Bro! Okay.
What? Tell me who's going to die for Raven.
The Beast guy. He loves her down.
Okay. We got Beast Boy. She's a Beast guy.
I forget. Sorry.
He's literally called Beast Boy.
I know, right? Sorry. I just wasn't sure if it was boy or something else. I was just like, yeah, I'm sure the Beast is there somewhere. Talia or Killer Frost?
Talia.
Okay, there you have it. Talia is your winner.
She's such a fantastic character. So well written.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
All right, so on to the final segment that we've got. It's kind of a this or that, but it's more a ship it or skip it. So the idea behind this is I'll say two names and she'll tell me if she ships them or she'd like to skip them. So Gojo Satoru and Wanda Maximoff.
I think they'll balance each other off because Wanda can be very chaotic, but Gojo is very laid back. But they're both too powerful couple. They'll be literally a power couple.
Their powers would go off.
And their children's powers.
Oh my god. I ship it. I so ship it. And with white hair. And then they could have a little what's the name of that boy in My Hero Academia? With the half red hair and half like white hair. That would be so fun. Todoroki, that's it. But yeah, that would be so interesting. Okay, next is girls of Rugvia, The Witcher, and Yorichi.
I haven't watched The Witcher, so I'm going to skip.
Oh, okay. I'd totally ship that.
Okay.
Homelander and Cersei Lannister.
Haven't watched The Boys either. Skip. You know that I haven't watched The Boys though.
Okay, but they would be like.
What?
There would be MAGA made in heaven.
Wow.
Incest. The king of the incels. I mean, what more? To be honest, I don't think Cersei would be really into it, but if she was, you know, I want to skip it to be honest, but they would make a terrifying couple.
Okay.
Anya Forger and Grogu. And okay, I would like to give a thingy of imagine that they're all like the same age. Forget the age, whatnot. They're all like, you know, same age, but these would be cute. Grogu is like Yoda from Star Wars.
Yeah.
He's one of those creatures, and he was a baby. But I think they'll be funny together because they have like this psychological whole thing going on, and obviously Anya can like read minds and stuff. So I just thought that would be interesting. So Elle from Death Note and Velma from Scooby-Doo.
No, because Velma is very outgoing and Elle's very introverted. So I think
Velma, the one that wears glasses.
Yeah,
she's outgoing. She's a nerd.
But she's adventurous with her nerdiness.
Yeah, but she's a nerd still.
She's an adventurous nerdy.
I think they'll be compatible.
I don't think so. I think she'll get bored with Elle.
Elle is very smart though.
What? Because she can't get bored with smart people?
Fair play. And she likes Shaggy too.
There we go.
So you want to skip it? Fair play.
You should get bored.
Yagami Light
and
Daenerys Targaryen.
They would hate each other. They would hate each other, but they would be in a partnership. They wouldn't love each other. No, it would be a partnership.
It would be like put those political marriages.
Yeah.
And they would, to be honest, I feel like they would rule well.
That's why I said they would work together because they understand it's the good.
You would be 1 minute from writing her name in the Death Note. She would be 1 minute from telling the dragons to burn him alive. You know what? So, you know, the amount of time that it takes him to write her name is pretty much the amount of time it would just be like, Dracarys.
Exactly.
And
but
because
their sense of moral justice is very grey.
Yeah.
Very grey.
Very, very much so.
But they understand each other. So, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm also just realising you have not seen Chainsaw Man.
No.
So, Shuri. Oh, have you seen Dr. Stone?
No.
Okay, Shuri and Dr. Stone. Senku's like the main guy. He's super like inventy, just like Shuri.
Okay.
He's also kind of funny, morally like he's green, I'd say. He's very fight for my friends, love of my friends, everything. So I'd say they would actually work quite well together because they'll be so smart. They'd invent so many things. My God, they could rule the world. Also, Chainsaw Man is out. Denji and Harley Quinn. But you know Denji though. He's the main guy in Chainsaw Man, the one who literally turns into the chainsaw.
Okay.
Yeah. I just thought that was an interesting couple. He's very. Who was his favorite crush again? You should watch. To be honest, you should actually watch Chainsaw Man. It's actually quite interesting. I think you could actually enjoy it. But yeah, I ship them. Levi and Jessica Pearson from Suits.
They would work well together.
You think?
He's an organised man. She likes a man that she can take control of. He does. I am gonna use my imagination and imagine that Levi can take instructions well. There we go. That's my answer.
Okay, so you ship them?
I do.
Okay. I'm not so sure about them, to be honest.
The only thing is I know Jessica likes tall men and Levi is not a tall man. So
Hey. Short kings deserve love too.
I'm just saying from Jessica's perspective.
You never know. She could change her mind for the one and only Levi.
Yeah. Levi would fight for her.
He would.
Very chivalrous. Yeah.
And that's the end of this episode. Thank you very much for listening. Yeah, that's it. So with the existence of all these dating shows and whatnot, does it encourage you to date more, or does it just make you exhausted of this whole dating nonsense? What are your favorite DC characters, and how would you have rated the characters?